As we're reading through the Bible in Joshua chapter 6, we're going to see the continuation of the events from the end of chapter 5, where this angel appears and tells Joshua how he's to go into Jericho, or how he's to go and take Jericho. It's one of the great stories of the Bible that children love and children are taught. But it's not just a children's story. It's a historical account of what the children of Israel did when they came into the Promised Land. You know, they were told to do something very unorthodox. They were told to do something just absolutely insane, really, when you look at it and you consider, warfare and how wars were to be fought. There's this giant walled city, Jericho, which at the time was probably an impregnable fortress. There's no way to break through those walls at those times. There's no gunpowder. There's no great machines that have been built that could penetrate those walls. And so the people inside the city, they have to be fairly confident that they're going to be safe as long as they stay inside the walls. Well, God tells Joshua to go, through this angel that has appeared, tells Joshua to go and to march around the city once a day for 6 days. And then on the 7th day, you're going to march around the city 7 times. And after the 7th time, everybody's going to shout, and there's going to be trumpets that are played, and the walls are just going to fall down. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And people have tried to come up with all kinds of physical reasons. Oh, there's resonance from the noise that they made. There's all these different things that cause the... No, that's just ridiculous. There's no physical way. There's no way in the physical... There's no way in the universe, which is bound by physical laws, that this could have happened. I finally got it out. What we're dealing with is God working through these people's faith. God says, go march around the city for 7 days and I'll take care of the walls. So Israel gets up, they go and they march around the city for 7 days, and what does God do? God is the one who tears the walls down, not these people, not their shouting, not their playing. God is the one who tears the walls down. What we see here is an intersection of faith and work. They had to work for 7 days. They had to go march around the city for 7 days. After they did that for 7 days, and they did everything exactly the way that God said, God tore the walls down. Did they earn the walls? No. Did they earn God's power in tearing the walls down and giving the victory? No. But that's how faith and works intersect. When we hear what God says, as ridiculous as it may seem, we believe it, not because there's no proof, but because God has always kept His promises. God has always kept His word, so we have a reason to believe it. And then we believe it to the point where we're willing to do it, even when other people may ridicule us, other people may mock us for marching around a city, playing music, and then shouting. Even though it may seem ridiculous to the world, we do it anyway because we know that the power behind the promises is the creator of the universe. The power behind the promises is the God who spoke everything into existence. And if God can speak stars into existence, God can tear the walls down at Jericho. If God can tear the walls down at Jericho, then any problem that I'm facing in my life, if I'm willing to follow God's commandments, if I have the belief and the faith and the love of God to listen to what He says and to do what He says, God will take care of all of those things. And finally and ultimately on the last day, God is going to save me, and God will deliver me, and God will bring me home to be with Him forever in heaven. And so as we're reading through the Bible in Joshua chapter 6, these are some of the lessons that we can learn.